So under this forming the individual category, we have chosen 5 different things that we think if you study these things, you form yourself in these things, you would be well on your way to fulfilling this element of proximate preparation. So of course there are more than this. If you think of other things that would be beneficial for you, absolutely go for it. These are just a starting place that we think would be beneficial. So the first is cultivating in yourself that universal call to holiness. So there's a document that was promulgated by the Vatican Council, the Second Vatican Council, called Lumen Gentium. It's the dogmatic constitution on the church. It's a great document. We recommend you read it if you're into that sort of thing. And chapter 5 of that document is about this universal call to holiness. Basically, that describes the call that Jesus Christ has given all of us to be holy. So really pursuing holiness with our entire life, being formed in the image and likeness of Jesus, more perfectly becoming the person that we're created to be. And how, so relevant to proximate preparation, how can you cultivate that call to holiness? How can you live that call to holiness in yourself? The second one is learning about what discernment is. So how do you do it? And how do you really pursue knowledge of God's will for your life? So we have a whole page devoted to this where we talk about different sources that are really good places you can learn about discernment. We encourage you to study those. The next one is healing. So pursuing spiritual and emotional and sometimes even physical healing from things in your past that have hurt you and that have harmed you, and really allowing yourself to experience the healing of the divine physician and allowing yourself to become more fully alive. The next thing is learning more about God's design for marriage. So what is marriage? Why does it matter? We live in a cultural climate where marriage is redefined on a pretty regular basis, but we believe that marriage is something that's actually entrusted to us by God. So what does that mean? What elements of marriage are necessary to contract it, and how do we go about living it? And the last thing is learning about the theology of the body. The theology of the body is a bold biblical reflection on what it means to be human, to be made in the image and likeness of God as male and female, and are called to love in his image. So we think it's really important for you to know who God created you to be. And we think studying the theology of the body is a great place to begin. So we think, again, recap, if you study these 5 things, these are a great place to start to learn about this first chunk of proximate preparation.